YouTube, what the crap is going on? Heir of Carthage here, back in Total War Rome 2, and we're going to continue Underdog week here, I guess in the online battles. And this time we're going to go with the Iceni. Why are the Iceni an Underdog? Well, it's mainly just because of their infantry selection compared to other barbarian factions. So their chariots are worthless. Their chariots get nerfed every time scythe chariots get nerfed, which means that they've been nerfed into an oblivion. They're really not good against anything unless you're playing campaign, and in campaign it seems like you can do okay with them versus light infantry or early game units. But they have no place in online multiplayer, at least not serious online multiplayer. So why are the Britons a faction that suffer? Because Swordband, I think, lose to Celtic warriors, so that means that they're not a very good meat shield. The Chosen Swordband, I think, lose to most other mid-tier sword infantry units that come from other factions. 29 charge bonus is kind of lackluster, it seems like, I think, at least. So let's take a look, for instance, at the Boii. Never mind, their charge bonus is okay. Weapon damage is better, armor, health, base morale, all that stuff should be better on the sword followers. And it is. The base morale is better, for sure. Anyway, for whatever reason, sword followers are just a much better unit. I think it's because of the 6 melee attack, or whatever the difference was there on the sword followers. Let's check that out. Yeah, it's 6 melee attack difference. Same armor, and better base morale by quite a bit. So, as you can see, sword followers, very superior. I mean, even compared to, I think, our Verni Chosen Swordsman, these guys are better too. Better attack. Their melee defense, let's see, 62, how does that weigh in? Yeah, it's better. So, I mean, again, the Iceni just end up with units that aren't as good. And so that's why they're kind of an underdog. Their ambushers are too expensive to really be of any value in my mind. If they made these guys cheaper, I think that would make the Iceni a lot more flexible. And then they need to increase the damage done by the chariots, or at least give them some kind of role, because right now they have none. They're pretty much worthless. So yeah, I don't see anything going on for the chariots. Druidic nobles, yeah, they can do like a chant that increases your morale, but it doesn't really seem to play any significant role in any battles that I've seen. Painted ones do have the scare ability, but since all the infantry in the game pretty much took a buff to morale with the Emperor edition, it means that the scare effects are not as big. Now, maybe if you magically pulled off some kind of rear charge, flaming javelin, amazing thing, you might be able to make use of it, but let's just face it, at 610 talents, it's going to cost too much to be worth your while, and these guys are going to get beaten down by mainline infantry because their armor is only 10. So, and they get destroyed by missiles because of that. So, they do have a 15 bonus versus infantry, which if you can get them in a rear charge, very nice, but, you know, other than that, they're very difficult units to use. They do have Frenzy, too, which can be handy. I've probably undersold them a little bit because Frenzy is fairly handy, but again, if they get speed bumped or meat shielded, whatever you want to call it, it's going to take that away, and it's pretty easy to stop them at that point. Any case, that's why I think the Iceni are underdogs, so I have taken the Iceni, and then the last one I played against Rome on a map where I felt like the balance wasn't so great. And guess what? I play against Rome again on a map where the balance is not so great. I didn't look at the map in the beginning of either of these battles, which is a horrible mistake if you want to be good online. So yeah, let's see. 4 Hastati, Eagle Cohort, Evocati, a few Legionaries, 1 Praetorian Cav, and several Auxiliary Cav. I think he had a couple of Spear Gladiatresses and tough Spear units. But they don't do so well against swords, so if you can get them in there, that always makes it worth it. So yeah, I believe it's 4 Hastati, Evocati, Eagle, and then I think 4 Legionaries or something like that. I could have gotten it wrong just a little bit. General, everybody goes for the General and Bodyguard. I don't know why that is. Are these guys really a lot better? It doesn't seem like it would make a difference. So this map is, again, horribly unbalanced. The attacker coming from this direction has a nice downhill advantage. So what I did was just deployed all my troops here, and I'm going to swing around this way and try and face my opponent on even terrain, or even give myself the advantage, because a lot of players will just deploy right in the center of the map. That's what I was counting on. Now, I could have been very unlucky, and my opponent could have deployed up here, and that would have been very bad for me. But that's not what happened, fortunately, because going uphill in these forests, which slow down my charge, by the way, which is the Barbarians' only real advantage over Rome, isn't this funny? So in Rome 2, Barbarians in the woods do poorly against Rome because it slows their charge down, and they depend on their charge, whereas in Rome 1, Barbarians had a bonus in the woods, and Rome would hardly ever want to venture into the woods to fight the Barbarians. I just think it's hilarious. how it's kind of been changed to be less realistic, whereas the Romans would have loved an open battlefield fight against the barbarians. So it is very odd to me. It's just the way the game works, though, and so you have to do your best with it. So again, I was kind of given a lemon here with this map, but I'm going to turn it into lemonade. Is that a stupid enough joke for you? I mean, how'd you like me throwing that in? Oh, man. Alright, I've been pretty lame the last couple of nights, so hope y'all are ready for it. So, yes, the Romans did not know where my army was at initially. I'm going to show them where it's at now, so that hopefully this won't be another battle against the timer. And the Romans shouldn't be shying away from the fight with the Iceni, I wouldn't think. I think they have pretty fair odds here. And all I've done is just made the terrain equal. It's pretty equal going this direction, so we'll end up probably fighting somewhere in this vicinity, is what it looks like at the moment. So yeah, my opponent sees my army now, and no doubt he's wheeling his Roman army around this way to face me, and we'll see what happens. So I was able to get rid of that terrain disadvantage, fortunately. In a 2v2, it would be almost impossible to do this, because they can stretch across the map better with two factions. But then again, if you got up this hill quick enough, you could nicely double team a player that was right here. I just really don't like that. I mean, there's no reason for this map to really be in multiplayer. It's just very weird. It's got way too much woods, and it's just odd. Doesn't make sense. I don't know. Yeah, at least I don't see it making sense. So yeah, here comes some of the Roman cavalry. My men are going to taunt them from the distance. We'll get some zoom-in action of the Roman cavalry riding around in the background. Check it out, the Roman cav has, looks like cloaking devices almost from back here as they go into the woods. I think they're going to stay visible. Who would have known that the Roman Empire was in cahoots with the Romulan Empire, I guess, going for the cloaking technology. Oh my gosh, lame Star Trek joke. Oh man, Air's going to get so lame here that, it's so lame I can't even think of a lame joke to go along with that. That's how lame it is. Really like that kind of gold looking cuirass here that the guy wears. That's pretty awesome. Yeah. Anyway, let's check it out here. So the Roman's pretty much in position, so am I. I really don't like the fact that I'm going to have to use veteran riders against the Roman cav. Oh, by the way, army. 4 sword band, 3 heroic nobles, 4 chosen sword band, 2 levy freemen, 4 veteran riders. The Roman army I think I've mostly covered for you. So I do not like my chances in the cav fight. The levy freemen are going to have to be used to good effect, which is kind of difficult. These guys aren't fantastic. Nice tats, guys. Nice tats. Apparently these guys are all in some kind of fraternity gang thing here. Also must be like a gang for the different trouser colors there. So I actually managed to kill 9 auxiliary cav with a javelin volley there. That was pretty slick for the levy freeman. And he's going to bring his spear gladiatresses up. Really don't want to tangle with them with the levy freeman. So I'm going to try and chase his cav, but I didn't realize that I was going to bump into his gladiatresses here. So these murderous women are going to give my levy freemen the business. The only thing they're going to be free of at this point is their reproductive organs, because no doubt these angry women are going to sever them. Oh, another lame joke. I am on a roll, folks. Praetorian cav is just going to make mincemeat of my veteran riders. I do get tried to get a decent charge here, though it didn't turn out so good. And I'm going to bring some sword band up here to kill the spear gladiatresses, because they're going to be getting way too much action for my liking here. But they are exhausted already, because he used rapid advance, killing spree, and frenzied charge, which means that they're absolutely exhausted at this point. They're going to take quite a heavy debuff to their attack, and a rear charge from the sword band ought to basically to seal the deal for them here. So yep, the gladiatress is going to be dealt with. They're going to start dying. I'm going to pull my veteran riders away, and I'm going to try kind of a war of attrition here. My levy freeman ended up getting 17 kills. Not bad, considering how poorly I used him here. Veteran riders only getting 9 kills. I'm just going to keep trying to keep the Roman cav tied down, and because the spear gladiatresses had the wrong attack order, they're getting cut down from behind by my sword band. And it also forces these auxiliary cav to try and change their orders. I'm going to get a nice charge against the Roman here. At least I thought I was. Wasn't all that great, actually. And then I've used my meat shield units, and as you can see, they didn't beat the Hastati because they were getting hit by Pila from the Roman units behind. It's always good to use the Romans in a double line formation anyway, because it allows them to hurl more javelins. But as you can see, my sword band did terribly against the Hastati, even though they have a better charge. And that's another reason why I think that the the Britons are kind of an underdog here. I do get a nice charge on this Evocati cohort with my sword band and basically tie it down. And I'm going to bring in a heroic noble here that's going to start decimating the Evocati. And same thing here, I'm going to bring in my second line. The Roman's thrown most of his javelins at my fleeing sword band as it is, so he won't get a whole lot of javelins off here. This Praetorian Guard's going to get charged by a chosen sword band. It'll give me a few kills, but I'm going to lose that in the end. Now over here on this flank, I decide that I need to take his cav out. I move another unit of veteran riders. Again, just hold this cav there so it can't do rear charges. And over here I'm going to do the same thing. He sends his Spear Gladiatresses in. Again, uses all the special abilities. Except this time they're going to get met with a chosen sword band, which is going to murder them. These women will not like that engagement very much, that's for sure. And then I keep swinging my Levy Freeman over wider, just trying to keep the Roman cavalry again from getting into rear charges. I left a gap in my line though. My opponent exploits it here, and I have to try and intercept them with this beat up sword band, which won't last long. And then my opponent's going to reposition some of his Eagle cohort as well. But that leaves his Evocati cohort here just to get wrecked by 2 Iceni units. I put a couple of my units into shield wall, of course the physically non-existent shield wall, because I needed them to hold longer, and then I get a nice rear charge here with this sword band, which had previously been fighting the Gladiatresses, so that legionary cohort's dead. This Praetorian Cav has gotten a nice number of kills, but is this really worth it, as much money as you spend on these guys? I don't think so. It's going to end up grinding out up there and really not being able to affect the battle in a meaningful way. These chosen swordband are now going to be able to engage the Hastati. I put another unit in the shield wall here because it was getting summarily whipped by well, actually the Spear Gladiatresses did okay, 18 kills, but then this Eagle cohort came in, it's causing problems. I go for a general assassination here. The Roman general and bodyguard was left open to my veteran riders, and my general has done fairly well so far. He destroyed the legionary cohort in front of him, but then an Evocati cohort came around behind, or not an Evocati, sorry, Hastati came around behind him, and it's actually going to take my general a surprisingly long time to cut down these Hastati. No idea why that would be, but it does take a long time. Nice rear charge with these auxiliary cav to get rid of my sword band, so which means this fight's actually going to take longer, and I won't win it decisively. Brings in a rear charge here with his auxiliary cav. Nice charge onto my general. So yeah, he does well there. I haven't used a whole lot of my special abilities yet on my heroic nobles, though I do decide to go ahead and use Headhunt over here to try and knock out these legionaries faster, but my opponent pops Presence, which is not really going to help. I see an opportunity for a rear charge here with my veteran riders that were on this flank, and I get a nice rear charge into his Eagle cohort, though it's not going to be enough to rout it, and I see another good opportunity over here with these legionaries, so I'm going to ping-pong my way back over here. These Hastati are getting summarily destroyed by heroic nobles and chosen swordband. Still a fairly close fight, all things considered, and there's some Roman cavalry that's going to be free soon after it kills my veteran riders. These veteran riders, though, did great in helping to get rid of the Praetorian Cav with the support of infantry. So that rear charge gets rid of those legionaries. I really don't want to engage his auxiliary Cav, though, with my veteran riders, and my opponent's not really chasing me, so I'm just going to run off into the woods and get my veteran riders out of there. I need to keep some mobility on the field so that I don't potentially get rear charged to death. I think I've forgotten about my Levy Freeman back here. My shield wall's doing good at holding the Eagle cohort for a little while. My, shield wall / shield chaos, whatever you want to call it here. Gonna flank charge the Eagle cohort, that'll go well for me. Here in the center I've got a heroic noble left against this Praetorian Guard. That's a tough fight, but if the heroic noble got a decent charge, it'll do okay. But the Praetorian Guard is a very strong unit. It's very weird to see someone bringing Praetorian Guard. It's not a common pick for Rome, just because Armored Legionaries and Evocati are basically just as good for much less cost. But yeah, this Praetorian Guard's now going to get surrounded, and the morale turns against it because of army losses. All my opponent's got left is that and a couple of these auxiliary cav, and now he doesn't even have that. So his last veteran rider here is going to get chewed up by all my swordsmen, and then over here his auxiliary cav is going to get nice kills, actually, I think, on my units. Oh, no, never mind. It's going to run through... Was that the sword band that's routing? I think it's a sword band that's routing. No, here's the sword band. He's going to try and run away from my stronger sword unit. I love these guys with, like, the bleached out hair and stuff. Kind of remind me of Woad Warriors from Rome 1. Why weren't Woad Warriors in this game? Come on! I mean, Head Hurlers we could probably live without, but Woad Warriors, For goodness sakes. Those guys were awesome. Fast-moving trait and all that kind of stuff. There's my veteran riders. Gotta love that cool blue face paint, and like I said, some of the bleached out here on the Iceni. Very, very iconic looking. So yeah, it's gonna be a costly victory for my men. I think that my opponent's army choice is about one of the only things that gave me a chance in this battle, honestly, is the Iceni. Some of my units did better than other. The Iceni would do better against Rome on open ground where they can capitalize on their charge. But again, still, Sword Band are not as good as a meat shield as, say, like Celtic Warriors or Club Levy or something of that nature. So the Sword Band, less useful in that sense. Still a potentially useful unit if you get it in the right spot. Chosen Sword Band, again, slightly weaker than most of their counterparts, so not all that good. And same thing with Heroic Nobles. I think they're a slightly weaker version of Oathsworn, but obviously still quite capable because all of my Heroic Nobles did very well in this battle. They got nice charges. They were able to kill quite a few Roman units pretty cost effectively. Now, the Praetorian Guard getting 167 kills, not nearly enough to cover their cost. But especially, yeah, it's not going to be enough to cover their cost. Praetorian Cav, same thing, 100 kills. But I mean, what was your 100 kills of Levy Freeman with a few veteran riders? It's not going to pay off again there in the end either, I don't think. Maybe it does, but again, killing my veteran riders didn't really help win the battle. My opponent needed the superiority to get rear charges on me, which he never gained. So in that sense, the Praetorian Cav did not pay off. So anyway, interesting battle. Hope you all enjoyed this one. Those Spear Gladiatresses right there actually got a bunch of kills. I bet that was my Levy Freeman. So yeah, Underdog week. Who's the next underdog you want to see? Give me some suggestions. Here's some that I'll throw out there to you. RDAI. I think the Aravachi count as an underdog. They're not very good. Pergamon, definitely an underdog. I can bring them around. Let's see. Who's some other underdogs? I mean, Aravachi are probably one of the better underdogs, honestly, to be honest. Oh, they're not very good. So definitely RDAI. I think Sparta's an underdog. We'll throw them in there. It's unfortunate, but Sparta is definitely an underdog. Syracuse is probably an underdog. Yeah, I'll just throw some of those out there. If you come up with one you think's an underdog that I didn't name, go ahead and throw it in there. But tell me what you want to see next. HeirofCarthage, signing off for now. I will see you soon.